I'm getting better. I did good this week, except today.
You
Good
did
morning,
good.
everybody. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. We appreciate you guys for being here, rocking with us all week long. You could have been watching anything, but you were here with us. So we don't take that for granted. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. You know, it's Freestyle Friday. Uh, Pastor will not be here with us this morning, but don't worry, we will not disappoint in the dad joke section because I am gearing up. So don't worry. Um, let's see. Bam. All right. So hey, Lisa, blessings, blessings. Thank you guys for being here. You know, I'm gonna keep it 100. I get spoiled. Like so, if I don't see you guys within the first minute, I'm thinking something is wrong. Something is wrong with the broadcast. so, so thank you guys for rocking with us this Friday. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. Um, what else? I think that's it. That's it. We're gonna have you know, a conversation that's gonna lead us everywhere. So I got listen. I was talking to a correction officer who was a former INS. She worked for the Marshals, and she kind of educated me on the whole deporting situations and just what it looked like, and um, you know why she got out of it, and some interesting information. She said, "Who has the dad jokes today?" I'm gonna hold it down, Mama Car. I'm gonna hold it down. I got it. I'm ready. I'm ready. What's up, Jeff? Good morning. Good morning. So no worries, no worry, Mama Corey. We are holding it down. We are holding it down. So, all right, we're gonna kick this off. Make sure you share, guys. Share. We're gonna have a great conversation. Let's see. Okay. All right. Keep it 100. I'm a little tired today, so I'm trying to keep my energy up. Keep my energy up. All right, let's go.
You're watching the Brothers of Legacy. We don't stand out. We stand up.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. In that time, I was trying to do a lot, but the intro was not long enough. I'm gonna have me a 2 minute intro, so give me time to pull myself together. All right. So I had the opportunity to talk to a young lady. I drive Lyft, so you like how do I talk to certain folks? Um, and she was talking to me about the. She used to work for INS, or Immigration Services. Am I saying that right? INS,
Immigration and Naturalization
Naturalization Services.
Services.
Right, right. I thought that right. All right. Um, and hey, Aunt Sam, good morning, good morning. And she was just saying, she said, "That's why I love you guys, you too, Thomas."
Thank you, Mama McCoy.
So she talked about just working with them. She said she didn't do the kids because one of the questions was, I asked her about the kids in the cages. Like was it a real big situation or was it a small situation overblown? Kid in the cage is bad, but a lot of kids in the cage is horrible. What I'm saying? Like how bad is And she was just basically saying because the president had signed the order, it was just like trying to find places to put a lot of people, and unfortunately, they made a bad decision. But she said she wasn't involved in the kids section. She said it's too heart wrenching. I can't do with the tearing kids from families, and she said I just can't do that. But she did say one of the things that Trump did was he lowered the standard of deportation, meaning, back in, prior to, it had to be like a kind of high felony to get kicked out of the country. She was like, it could be something as small as a speeding ticket, and now you're in front of a judge. So it got more challenging. That's basically what she was telling me. She said it ramped up because they started trying to get everybody. It's basically that people that have been here for a while. Because if you become a citizen, you can still be deported if you committed a felony. That's kind of like, well, we ain't gonna put you in our prison system. I'm gonna just send you back home and let them handle you. She did say it was rough sometimes with like taking, like, Mexico was rough because, like, if someone has to go back to Mexico, a lot of times they're escaping cartels, they're escaping certain people. And she said once we kind of drop you off, we have no jurisdiction and we out. So we could be placing you in a dangerous situation. Now, she did say, if you say I'm coming from a dangerous situation, she said we do investigate. We go to the neighborhood, we ask around, to find out, are you really in a dangerous situation? Would your life be in danger if you came back? She said, if that's the case, we have to keep you. Like, we have to find, some place to put you, because we can't send you back. We don't willfully put people back into dangerous situations. So it was some great information. She said she'd been to Ireland, Italy. And it's funny when she said that, I was like, we always focus on, like, Mexico, like Haiti, like the more my people are at. We never see, like, Ireland. She's like, yeah, we deport them too. Like, we send them back, just the same. But she said, so I asked, I said, what's one of the misconceptions? She said, everybody in INS doesn't dislike immigrants. She said, I'm a daughter of an immigrant, so I care. She said, now I'm gonna keep it real. There are some, they just mean. they don't care. They don't care. Like, you don't belong here. You're illegal. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. She also said, when people get detained, they don't know their time. Like, in the regular judicial system, when you're gonna get sentenced, how long.
Yeah.
She said, you'll be sitting, it could be like a week, and they send you back. She said one lady was sitting for like 5 years.
Yeah, you can sit for years.
Yeah, like in limbo. Just in limbo. But then
I don't want to interrupt you. Like, she's saying the best parts of it. That's the way it should be. Right? That's the way the system should be. But there are people who get lost. That's why, it didn't end up on the news for no reason, right? These kids getting lost from their parents and everything else.
Because they don't know.
The system, the same system we're talking about that incarcerates people at a high level in America, doesn't do good with immigration, naturalization services. Okay, so there are some good feel-good stories in there, but there are a lot of people that get lost in the system. And these private prisons and these jails that are on the verge of closing down, they become places where INS starts using to house their people at. And we don't realize that, man, there's a lot of people in the immigration system here, right? And I remember back in the 90s, and I don't know how it is now, but I know back in the 90s, they used to put, you used to be in the same jails with people who are INS folks. And you'd be a federal prisoner, and this federal prisoner would be in this same jail as it'd be a private prison also. And you have people from all over the world in this jail, and so it's just kind of an interesting system. I don't think America has ever got it right when it comes to immigration, because technically somehow we're all immigrants, but there's a problem, right? And then the type of immigrant you are, right? Where are you coming from? How much help and support are you going to get? And how are you going to be looked at? And we have, it's interesting that we don't realize that there's a lot of people who are immigrants around us. Those who haven't been naturalized yet, they are still considered immigrants, right? They're just not illegal. And so that's where we have to get into the legal immigrant side of things. And then finally, I'm just going to say this, that part where you were saying that if you get, if you're arrested or get in trouble, you can be deported back to wherever. That's true, but the deportation doesn't take place immediately. And it's not like, there's this whole same process of going through, of the, going through the system. So it's
Right.
Right. So, it's that. But everybody who comes here that are immigrants doesn't come through a tunnel either.
Right.
And so we are differentiating between illegal and not, because there's some people who come in shipping containers. Right. So we have to look at, we know the tunnels from Mexico, but do we know from Europe that there's shipping containers,
right. Behind
so,
the Lambo.
Yeah, it's we all get here somehow, right? It's not like you can just walk here.
Right.
Well, I guess you could.
Well, you could. I guess probably.
You can go to Canada or you go to Mexico and walk in. But that's an interesting thing, interesting take. But there are feel good stories, and it's good to hear that all customs or immigration agents aren't against. They don't have this initial bias, right?
Right. Yeah.
And that's important.
Definitely, because I was thinking that pretty much you got to just. Most of them are just either heartless or don't care. And then I was like, I get it. It's the illegality of it. It's like, you got to follow the process. But then again, I understand, though I've never been in a situation where, oh gosh, what do you say? Dressed in a FedEx costume, looking like an overgrown package. I can't with you, Jeff. I'm putting you in timeout. I'm calling Facebook, put you in jail. But so it's it's interesting. She also, so now she works as a correction officer for like a private facility. She was telling me the private facility, working for a private company, was better. She said she was saying we are now taught to be, what did she say? Softer. To be softer. She said our approach has to be softer before we get to the aggression. She said, so you got to try to de-escalate situations before you just go in there banging people in the head.
Right.
I was like, that's interesting. She's softer, gentler. And the stuck with, I was like, that's a slogan. She gave me the company name. She's like, softer, gentler. I was like, wow, that's interesting. I mean, I get it. That's cool because you in jail. I can't imagine, your temperature getting flared pretty quick. It's we're all in these cages. Like I don't know. It's not how I'm supposed to be. I know I caused myself to get here. But I'm a little angry. I'm a little angry right now.
Right.
So she does that. So it was an interesting conversation.
I find it pretty interesting, this softer and gentler approach that we're supposed to be having, but and it goes throughout all law enforcement. It's not just in corrections. It's our police officers, it's our probation officers. Everybody's supposed to have this softer approach. Now, I will say the parole and probation officers that I still work with today, they are kind of taking a much softer approach, because I look at how people on probation and parole are treated these days, and I'm like, golly, you guys get extra chances in. It is like there's this whole coddling that takes place, right? And it's crazy. I would like to see how that plays out in corrections, though.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing, like most state facilities, state prisons, they're a lot rougher than federal facilities, right? But there's a lot of people think Fed is club fed. You have your federal prisons and everything. Right. It's like club fed, but it's not. There's a lot of roughness, but the way the mental way that federal prisons are run versus state prisons, it's much different. Federal prisons, they don't have like guards with guns and all that other stuff right in your face. They have guard with keys, and the guards are pretty much you got access to the guards. You have it's just a whole different animal. Really? It's a whole mental animal versus the way state facilities would run. And so I don't know. I couldn't imagine coddling people in a state facility. Really? Well, I'm just thinking California states.
Right.
I think, okay, we're going to try a softer approach. Gave it 30 seconds. No.
That's enough.
And the next person that comes to mind, your time was used up by the person before you, so you don't even get it.
I'm done. I've already
done.
tried
It's
it for the
over
day.
with, right? My quota for the day is up, right? And so I can imagine something like that. And then we also know that de-escalation tactics don't work within, well, I can't say all of law enforcement,
right.
but there's some of law enforcement. Have you saw the trailer for Colin Kaepernick's Killer County? It's coming out on Hulu. You gotta look it up. So he's doing this documentary on Killer County, right? Okay. And it's interesting because I saw this the other day, and the trailer is like, wow, this is bad. Like, is this the way it's supposed to be, or what does it look? The law enforcement, they're just out there and they're killing people, they're doing all kinds of craziness and everything. Okay. I was like, man, this is crazy. And then I looked at it, and it's my hometown.
Because I was like, where is Killer County at? Like,
it is my hometown, Bakersfield, California. And it's so interesting when you think about like the stories that we see on video these days about how police officers are, right? There's the de-escalation tactics are thrown out the window. They're just free for all, right?
Right.
And and I look at the trailer for this movie, and it just flashes me back to so many things that I've seen from police officers in the past, right? But you can have all these de-escalation tactics, but what's the little kid that was? It starts with Tahir. Wait, I can't even get his name. Kid was killed in the park.
On the park, I knew you were gonna say.
Someone throw it in the chat.
Tamaya.
I know his name. Is just it's out of my mind. I always think about
one of old moments. I would have known it. Ask me.
Well, the de-escalation tactic was thrown out the window because the police pulled up 6 feet away from him. How are you going to de-escalate? In a situation like that, if you pull up 20 feet away, give them a chance.
Tamari, there you go. Tamari.
Yeah.
Tamira.
So and so Killer Town. Thank you. So yeah, it is. The pride, the trophy. Anyways, so the de-escalation sounds good, but if you don't do it right, it's not you're not gonna be able to utilize it right. So again, I'm glad she's somebody that is mindful of these things.
Right.
But there are a number of people who don't know how to use de-escalation tactics the right way, and they find themselves, just putting themselves in a situation where things escalate pretty quick. You're not going to still be trying to use de-escalation tactics.
Right.
And so I sound kind of negative on this. I am.
I'm not going to even turn it around, right?
I see what happens. Anyways, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You said you see what happens.
No, I'm just saying I've seen what happens when people talk about de-escalation tactics and all this other stuff. Like, it works for some, not for all. It work, and certain situations you'll escalate before you try to de-escalate.
Right.
It's like an arsonist. I'm gonna start a fire and walk away, and then talk about, man, how'd that fire get so big?
Right. Right. Yeah,
shouldn't have poured gas on it. Anyways,
true. Oh, so yeah, that was a interesting conversation. So let me ask you, right? When you did, I put a great. You know what, Richard? If I haven't read your comment, Richard. Let's see, Richard. Richard says immigration is different as different different in different countries. How about interventions that are helpful rather than inflammatory in improving the nation's people are trying to escape from? Surely, right thing, right approach. Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice. So I had a question. So I was wondering about that, right? Like different countries and how the different countries that people come from, right? And I know we don't have it perfect, right? We're not perfect people. We ain't better than anybody. Like, so I've asked when I get, I talk to different people from different countries like Mexico, Nigeria. And I ask about like the traffic situation. Hey Sam, and just follow me for a minute. Like if you're driving somewhere in Mexico and there's a traffic light, here in America, it's not a suggestion. It's something we're supposed to listen to. In other countries, like Mexico's and the Nigeria, it's a suggestion. Because I told her, I was like, hey, if I stopped at the stoplight, what would happen? People will honk and they'll just go around you. It's not, how, I always wonder, how do we get to a place where we followed the law, where we didn't challenge the law anymore. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know, like, how do we find our stable in this country? Like I said, we're not any like better than anybody, we're not any smarter than anybody. Like, how do we come to these basic agreements to kind of be civilized in a certain way, I guess? And no disrespect in these countries. I just talk about the traffic situations, though. Like, they just said it's so crazy. People just crash into each other and they just keep it moving. Like here, we got insurance, boom, we crash. I'm pulling over, call insurance, call 911. We have a system, He said you could stop at the stoplight, right? And he said patience okay until it becomes racism and xenophobia. Indeed. All right. Hey, good morning, Sam. So I mean, have you ever thought about it, or like, I don't know, like I don't know if you had a chance to visit a lot of these different countries,
Yeah.
But it's just been the thought on my mind, because I've heard it and I talk to people directly, like that, people that visited, they told me the same thing. People that lived there, they tell me the same thing. I'm like, and they, they talk about the corruption in government. I'm like, our government's full of corruption, but it's like, it's like almost
we hide it better.
Right. I think that, hold on, that, and it's like an agreed corruption, long as we keep things running. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be corrupt, just don't take so much out of the system we can't function. You know what I'm saying? Because one lady asked the immigration lady, I could have asked her the same thing. I was like, you've been in different countries. She said, well, a lot of times it's like a dictatorship in a lot of these countries. So they're mad. So if I want to put money here, they're gonna stop me altogether, and then I'm gonna get killed. Like, so I'm like, wow. Like, whereas here, I have some workaround. Like, come on, man, just let me do this thing, and fine, I'll prop you up. I won't say nothing else. And we function. We function dysfunctionally, but we function.
Well, you said it when you were talking systems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We have systems, and the way the systems function, you get in, you move forward, and
right.
We have a system. The other countries, they have a system of how they do things, right? So how you flow in that system, where you fall in that system, that's how the outcomes are going to be. I mean, you think about the systems that are in place since the beginning of this country, right? I just noticed something. I think it was on one of those streaming channels last night. It's called 1619. I got to watch it, but it talks about systems in place, right?
Yeah.
And it's important for us to see that, like, America, we kind of, in the media's light, we have a United States, I should say, because there's Southern America and Northern America. But in the United States, we have we're saw in this, in the whole world, they see us in a certain light because of media. Right. But then they get here and they're like, this ain't what I thought it was going to be. I've talked to a lot of people who are like that. It's like, I thought we were going to come to America and the United States is going to be finished, a certain way. It's going to be great. I'm going to get away from all this other madness, right? But then you come here and there's a whole different level of madness, right? So, it's about systems. I was in Mexico last month. I love the way they drive. Shoot, let's go. Get out the way. That's the way I like it. Here you got people coming from everywhere, and we're a melting pot, and you'll be going down, the 75, 85 in Atlanta.
Right.
And like, why are you in the fast lane doing 30?
Right.
And that's why we got backup in traffic, because of drivers like you switching lanes for no reason. Like, you ain't got nobody in front of you. You want to go slow and switch lanes. Get out the way. Anyways, it just depends on our systems. I don't know why I even went there, but
yeah, it was on your heart. It was on, you just had to express that. I feel you. He said, all right, so Richard says USA has president, Senate, Congress, like Parliament, House of Lords in UK, but a constitutional monarch. There could be something to it.
Chris hit us with the dysfunction junction. What's the function?
What's up, Chris? Good morning, man. But I told this. But yeah, I think so I don't know, I just been wondering about that, just wondering what makes us different. But that makes us, Richie kind of has a point, like of the structure and the system, and like you said, the system of kind of what we kind of been told, what we've agreed upon. It's kind of like you can get to a space, take your little corruption, just don't take it all out the system. Like, just do your thing. We're gonna let you ride for a minute till you trip up. Then you're going to do some Fed time. Everybody else knows. Oh yeah, as long as nobody else knows you're doing it, you're fine.
Right.
So
the moment you start making us look bad,
right.
But I mean, some people get that privilege, some people don't.
Right.
And and it doesn't have to do with color. It has to do with
that class.
I guess, green is the color.
Right. Where your money is, your donors, who you connected to. Yeah, definitely makes a difference.
Richard, you don't have to get caught these days. You get told on.
Just don't get caught, right? Oh yeah, you're gonna get snitched on. Oh yeah, I believe most people that get caught, that get in trouble, it's like we already knew. Someone just decided that in the inner circle, I'm gonna go ahead and tell. I'm gonna write this book, tell it all. Some folks about to go to jail, So, yeah, definitely. So I just was wondering about that, like, our systems, what makes us. How did we get to this space? Like I said, we're not better. We lucked up on things falling into place.
Well, I hear a lot of people move to other countries and find it much easier to live in those other countries.
I've heard that too.
And so it's not that, again, we have it good here, but it doesn't mean it's not good in other places.
Right.
And we just haven't expanded our worldview.
Right.
A lot of times when we start thinking about worldview and really taking things into consideration, you're familiar with where you're from. There's a lot of people from, inner city neighborhoods who've never left their neighborhood, and they think it's all good in the hood because they have never never experienced anything else. Right.
Right. True.
And so a lot of times, you gotta go experience a different culture, different place, and get to see, is this a place, how I like it, and all these other things, the rules, the laws, and everything else.
Right.
Now, I'm sure if you go to, those communist countries, China, you probably have to be censored in what you say and how you are. Otherwise, you find yourself in a hole somewhere.
Right.
What I hear. But, why would I want to subject myself to that?
Right. Because someone, I think, was it? I seen somebody post about China. It's so clean. It's so nice. And I'm thinking, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's a give and take. Yeah. Like, their system is a little tougher and stronger. Like, you don't throw little on the ground. You might lose your hand. You just don't. We don't do this. We don't do that. You have to. No, you have a heightened opinion of yourselves. I mean, we dope.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's every country has its issues. Every country has its problems. And then every country has its good points. Every country has a reason for you to be there. I was in China. Some parts are he said some parts. Yo, I'm telling you, this thing was a TikTok. It was like, it's clean. It's so clean everywhere. It's clean.
Well, I mean, you could go to some cities in America and they're so clean.
Right. Don't go to New York.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe some neighborhoods in Metro Atlanta
as well. Right.
Maybe
Cali got its issues as well.
Cali got issues. Vegas everywhere has an issue, but you can turn down one street and be like, oh man, wow, this is nice. Go a couple blocks and be like, what in the world?
this is where they put all the people they don't want. Like,
right.
oh, okay. So
I mean, Los Angeles has some of the greatest sunsets ever, but don't go certain places. You'd be like, my favorite city, but
yeah,
well, it's starting to lower itself on that scale.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, back to what you were talking about, and when it comes to the way she was looking at corrections and everything, I think there is this idea that we want to have in this country. We want to be a certain type of way, but when we talk about systems, we're still talking. You put correctional officers, police officers, and everything in a certain system, they're going to function that way. We think about when 9/11 happened, how many systems were put in place that we just adapted to our life, we adopted to our life, I should say. And we just function now. We don't even question it. We don't question $5 a gallon gas. We don't question.
We just get mad at the pump.
Why eggs cost so much? Right? Like, if I'm gonna go to have breakfast, it feels like I'm balling now when I go get an omelet. Look at my omelet. I can start taking pictures of it, posting on social media I'm having this fine dining right here. How did eggs get so much? How did we ask the questions, but we don't really question it because we just function. Systems change. So now that we've experienced $7 a dozen eggs, now they can just drop it down to $4 a dozen. We'll be like, whew, relief. Right.
What's up, Mike?
And so we have to realize the systems are put in place a certain type of way, and we may ask questions, but we really don't question it. We don't.
That's true.
We just allow things to continue to move the way they move, right? And then we have the let's use the idea of police brutality, right? And I'm not trying to make this controversial right now because it's Freestyle Friday. But when we talk about police brutality, we have people who experience it, and then we have people who never experienced it talking on it, right?
Right.
So for them, they're like, yeah, that's just the way it's been. Let it continue on. And the people who are experiencing it are like, no, do something about
it.
Right.
Right.
And so it continues on because the people in power continue to say, nah, that's just a one-off. That's just this. But we know that if I go and do a crime with somebody, and well, I don't do the crime, they do the crime, and I'm just with them, right? We're both getting in trouble.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But in a police situation, if one of your blue brothers goes off and that they're doing this stuff, and you don't say nothing, it's just normal, right? And we don't even want them to get in trouble. And it's just systems. So we got to realize and recognize our systems here in this country, right? And how they're established and all these things. I mean, I talk about different things. I know I went from eggs to police, but
you're good. I mean, and that's true though. Like, how can you speak from certain vantage points if you've not experienced it? Like some neighborhoods are just, the police roll heavy. They just pulling everybody over. You're in a nice car. Was it going driving while black? Because I've known folks that was like, man, I've been pulled over 3-4 times just cause. And it's almost like the egg situation. It's like you stay. I'm sure they see it. Bloop, bloop. Okay. Like, good evening, officer.
Yeah.
It's just, why, this your car? Because
I'm in it.
I'm in it.
I'm driving it.
I'm driving it. Yes.
The assumption is it stolen? That's code. Is it stolen?
Not that I know of, officer. Not that I know of.
It's so interesting that like when we have to deal with things like that, we have okay, so lately I've been watching Good Times, right?
Okay.
And you get to watch back in the 70s and some of the things they're saying back in the 70s, and I'm like, this is the same today, right?
Yes.
I listen to old Tupac records or from the early 90s, or I listen to music from the 80s, you know, and the stuff that they're talking about then is the same now. It's like we're not making these stories up. Right. And so the people who experience this stuff talk about it. but the voices are suppressed, and we have this systemic suppression, because we have to make America look great again.
Right.
Never was great. Anyway, that's my point. I'm sorry, I took this a whole different way, but anyways,
you said Good Times 80s. Yeah, not my favorite show. Not
keeping your head above water.
Right. Making the way when you can. And then so for
layoffs. Come on, everybody. Good time.
Standing in the chow line. Good time. And I realized it's like bad, but it's good time now. Bad. It's good time now.
Yeah. Ain't we lucky we got them?
Ain't we lucky? Ain't we lucky? Thank you for giving us some good times.
Thank you for the good times. But hey, you know what? They are some good times because people who were raised that way or experienced family that way, it was good times. But then it was like, man, we could have had better times.
Right.
We didn't, it was like anyways, let's not go there.
Like I said,
it's a whole other show.
Great for some and nightmares for others, right?
Man,
right, Lisa. I don't need that kind of luck.
Yeah. Ain't we lucky we got them?
Ain't we lucky at least we got them.
Man. Okay, so the point of that is like, man, great family structure in spite of. Right.
And
that's a part of what we're talking about here. Like the experiences that they had, the one I watched, the last one was JJ got arrested, right?
Okay.
And taken to jail. And they said he fit the description of this person, right?
Okay.
Now the family is all down there. They're all in JJ's court. Thelma's going to JJ just got a job. She's going to advocate for him. The family's down there like, man, get my son out this jail. That ain't my son. Like that's good stuff there, right? That's family no matter what. And then they find out that JJ didn't do it. And they're like, he fit the description. So JJ comes out 6 foot, super lean. The guy who they arrested was like 5'2", 300 pounds. It was like, he fit the description.
Looking like Bookman.
Right. It was like a whole different thing. But the point is like there's this messed up system that we live in, but we got this family structure.
Yeah.
We stick together,
That's true. That's true.
And nowadays, it's hard to even have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. And so I mean, we're freestyling today, it looks like. We all
we good. We're all over the place. So listen, everyone came in. They already know. Why below there's no subject line. There's no subject line. So Jeff, he said, I saw eggs $18, 18 for $3.79. So what I'm gonna need you to do is get a couple of styrofoam them up and go and send them to Georgia. I can go and sell some eggs. $5.
Listen, Jeff. Go ahead and stock up, put them in your trunk, roll around, put a sign on your side. I got eggs.
I got 18
eggs. For $6. 18 for $6. You make a profit. Kill a profit right there.
What you got to do like they do with people have done with cigarettes. They sell a Lucy's, just sell an egg. Hey,
sell an egg at a time.
I got 2 or 3 eggs. How many eggs you need, son? How many eggs you need?
Curb the egg. Yeah. Dude.
Oh man,
it's crazy though, this inflation stuff and how it kicked off, right? We talk about systems.
Yes.
Like when you look at stock market and inflation and just the narratives that are created around it, and how inflation gets moving and the Fed, and I mean, we're even the idea of American debt.
Right.
We don't realize American debt drives a lot of this stuff too. Like we almost defaulted on a payment.
Right.
America default. Right. We don't even imagine that. We don't even think about that on a regular basis. But the way the system's set up is, rob Peter, pay Paul.
Right.
And we're good. And we'll just increase this debt ceiling and we'll just pass it on to the people.
Right. We're too big to fail.
But hey, a lot of other countries have failed based upon the same system that America's in right now. It's a whole different show, but
that's why they send. But I really think sometimes, and I know people don't agree, and I don't agree all the way, but I think that's why they send money to other countries. Like, here you go, you get some money, you get some money, you get some money. So if we ever get in trouble, we're gonna call you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so yeah, definitely. that operating that I actually I'm gonna try to get this podcast I was listening to, and the 1619 project as well.
Yeah,
it's on the podcast. I don't know if you ever heard it.
I haven't.
Because it's a whole it started out. I think it started out as a podcast. It started out as a podcast. It's a pretty good series. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that was the first time I ran into
until now.
Last night I was just flipping through, and they give you what they want you to see, but I was like, I'm gonna flip through and see what else is out there.
Right.
And ran across this 1619. I was like, lock that into my
It's hard. I hate that though. I hate the thing that I probably wanted is now the thing that I don't like, the suggested content, based on what you've been watching. Because they're like, oh, we see you like this thing. Let me show you what's available in, and that's cool. But it's like, I know you have more than this, so there should be like a switch or someplace. Would you like to just see everything? Just show me everything. Just show me everything in comedy. Everything. Just everything.
Right. Don't judge what I'm gonna like.
Right.
On, my past history. Because I watch Friday, I can't get no other white shows.
Right. That's true.
I want to watch some other stuff. I like Bruce Willis.
Right.
I'm just saying it,
Right. True. I mean, that because it does that. And you're like, man, I ain't never. We talk about something different. Like I ain't never seen that movie. Like
when I see someone else's playlist on their movies, I was like, man, I didn't even know that movie existed.
Right. You're like,
have you ever looked at a male's playlist and a woman's playlist? How much different they are? They're so different.
My wife and I is a little different. But see, mine is more full of documentaries and serious movies. Hers, she has a lot of like mystery. Like I don't want to say, trying to find the best way to, not like fantasy. You ever seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer? No, she don't do those. Like not like that. Not like that. No, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like those that kind of stuff. Not that particular. We watched that, but those kind of things. What up, Kadeem? You on the wrong side, brother. That's, let's see if I touch. He said if I touch my wife's phone, I get a broken finger. Just call out help. Just call help. But what do you call an angry carrot? What do you call an angry carrot?
What's that?
A steamed veggie.
Silly. We're going there already, huh?
We're going there. I just said, you know what?
We're going there.
Let's go there.
The other day,
Kadeem's in the building. It's time.
There was a person I was talking to the other day who was like, rest in peace, boiling water. You'll be missed.
That was good. That was good. He said, why can't you hear pterodactyl going to the bathroom?
Look, Kaneem's like, it ain't 9:59. We got a little extra in today.
Oh yeah, we started early. You weren't here to stop us. You weren't here to come up with some Trump conspiracy or something.
We've talked a lot about different things, Kaneem.
Yeah, man, you missed the whole conversation.
You could have been in there. All right, go ahead. What were you saying about the pterodactyl?
He said, then try looking at purse. You go full blown WWF. Said, why can't you hear pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. P start. Yeah. Okay.
I got it. A lot of people won't know that because they're like, pterodactyl starts with a T.
T, right?
Pterodactyl.
What are you talking? Google spell pterodactyl.
Listen, I wrote a song about a tortilla one time. It was more like a rap.
What? Okay, so why did the bicycle fall over?
Didn't have no kickstand?
Because it was too tired. too tired.
No? I got it. I'm with you. Too tired. And it fell on over. Okay.
Oh, I just see that. Okay. Why did the triangles? What did the triangle say to the circle?
What?
You're pointless.
That's a good one. You know, what a witch's vehicle sounds like?
What's that?
Broom, broom.
I knew that one. I knew that one. Let's see. Oh, God, that's a good one. What lights up a soccer stadium? What lights up a soccer stadium?
I don't know.
A soccer match. Took a minute, like, I had to think about that one.
I get it. It just kind of, yeah. So if you see a crime at an Apple store, are you an eyewitness?
I knew that one. Oh, what's red and bad for your teeth?
What's red and bad for your teeth?
Yes.
I have no clue.
A brick.
That's bad for your forehead too.
Okay. Okay, so hold on. Rollins in the comment. He said, why does 10 plus 10 and 11 plus 11 equal the same thing?
No clue, Sean.
Oh, goodness. Right. Truth, Jeff. All right. So I'm wait for Rollins to put his up. What? Oh. He said 20 and 22.
And 22.
That was good. That was good. What do sprinters eat before they race?
Protein.
Nothing. They fast.
Some terrible ebonics right there. So if the early bird catches the worm, I'm gonna wait until there's pancakes. These are getting crazy.
Okay. We got maybe two more. Why was the fish's grades bad?
What was that?
Why was the fish's grades bad?
I have no clue.
They were below sea level.
I tried not to laugh. Oh man.
All right.
I used to be able to play piano by ear.
Yeah.
Now I use my hands.
All right. We're gonna let you go. What's Forrest Gump's password?
Box of chocolate.
One Forrest, one.
Listen, to whoever stole my copy of Microsoft Office, I'll find you. You have my word.
All right. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get this one. Why can't you trust the king of the jungle?
Why is that?
Here you go. Because he's always lying.
All right. Oh man. Why are celebrities so cool?
Why are celebrities so cool?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they have many fans.
I know, Dr. Ron. I know. We laugh at our own joke. It's funny. This is our entertainment for the week. All right. We're gonna get to the last one. How do you organize a space party? How do you organize a space party?
I don't know.
You plan it. Think about that one.
I'm gonna let that sit in for a second.
let that marinate. Sit. I'm done.
Let that marinate.
Appreciate you, Kenny. Appreciate you coming through. We are.
What do you call a fake noodle?
What do you call a fake noodle?
Yeah. An imposter.
Ah. All right. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. So appreciate you guys for rocking with us. Before we go, wait, we ain't done, right? So wait, we ain't done. Today, just know today's word is Friday. Today's word is Friday. Let me put that into a sentence. Mama and them is gonna fry they chicken. Mama and them is gonna fry they chicken.
Have a great weekend, y'all.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you follow us on all Facebook and what's that place called? YouTube. And listen, make sure you check out our podcast. Make sure you are subscribed. Put some rate and review. What I need y'all to do, all my people that be following, I just need one moment. Just take a moment and go to the podcast, rate and review. It's the same thing. Just give us 5 stars. It'll help us with the algorithm. Let more folks see what we got going on. So rate and review. Rate and review. All right, let's do the podcast. And then next week, we're going to work on Facebook. Then the week after that, we're going to work on YouTube. So today, just go to the podcast, whatever podcast app you got. I know you got one. Just put in Brothers of Legacy. You'll see the symbol right there in the corner, that symbol, and say podcast and just rate and review. That's it. And then you can just get out the app. You can even listen to something like, oh, I ain't heard this in a long time. Or you just replay this one. Hear all the dad jokes. All right. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for always supporting. Thank you for always being a part. All right. Jeff said, I need y'all to do what Jeff's just doing. He said, okay, will do. That's what I need you to do. Okay, will do. All right. All right.
What does a baby computer call his father?
Data.
Anyways.
What do cows read the most?
What do they read?
Catalogs.
Why can't a leopard hide? Why can't a leopard hide?
Why?
Because he's always spotted.
See y'all next week. Peace out. Wait, no, hold on. 988. You or someone low.
Oh, 988.
988.
And what's that other number? 933?
He's like, I should have never shared that. All right, go ahead.
It's only on Friday I'm going to say that, though.
One more. What you got? One more.
Nah, I'm done.
You done? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. I was just talking about the 933. I'm only going to say that on Friday.
Right.
See, Jeff even dropped it in the chat.
Oh, man. You know, I lost an electron. You really have to keep an iron on them. I think I said that wrong. We're gonna go.
You really need to keep an eye on it.
Eye on them. There you go. Know that we love you. Jesus loves you more. Peace out.